Once you have a fancy road car, it can be easy to think that you have everything. Of course you might, but you probably don't, unless you also have a driving simulator. And Vesaro, who are based in Maidstone, make luxury simulators for both the consumer as well as the commercial market. Presumably from motion rig-induced brain damage, they thought it'd be a good idea to invite us along and let us check out some of their simulators. Now, all the Vesaro rigs, aside from their Asseto Formula cockpits and some of their other more custom projects, use the same Vesaro SimRig chassis, which is then accompanied by different components to bring it up to the various specifications for the various uses that these SimRigs are put to work for. When looking at the underlying Vesaro frame, it seems clear to me that they've worked as hard as possible to create something that's strong enough to support their rather rigorous D-Box motion platform, whilst at the same time having a rig that looks really quite minimal, sleek, rather sexy, and somewhat Aerial Atom-like. Those of you with laser-like sim racing vision will of course notice the individual components that have been combined with the Vesaro sim rig to produce the end simulator result. By packaging all those individual components in nice metal enclosures, they managed to keep the coherent design of the sim rig together whilst also hiding all those pesky cables. That's all very well and good, but at the end of the day, what's it actually like to drive on? With the time that we had, we got to do a few races on Project Cars 2, and we got to do some lawn mowing in Asseto Corsa. The most noticeable aspect of these simulators compared to your run-of-the-mill home simulator, of course, is the immediate sense of motion produced by the D-Box system. What's really nice with the D-Box system, as well as some of the other motion solutions that we've used recently, is that rather than having some ginormous over-the-top motion platform that throws you around as if you're on a cross-channel ferry during a thunderstorm, these motion systems are really tightly tuned and essentially replicate more the feeling of the individual suspension of the wheel, the overall dynamics of the vehicle, but in a tight and snappy way that doesn't dislocate you from what's going on in the game. The end result is when you're driving on this Vesaro system, you feel way more connected to what's actually going on inside the simulator. It's almost as if what's going on in the screen sort of passes underneath you as your car rides over the bumps and the individual wheels go over it. Having this type of motion simulation also really highlights those subtle aspects of the track that, though they are picked up on the direct drive wheel to an extent, it's a different kind of communication of the road surface. If you've sat in a nice sporty real world car or gone around a real world racetrack, you'll know there's a real difference between what's coming through the wheel and what's coming through your flabby, untoned bottom. Outside of all those subtle car dynamics captured by the motion rig, the Vesaro rig also has a really nice seatbelt system that captures the braking G-force feel of a car, with the seatbelts tightening up as you get on the brake and then staying tight until you stop braking. This gives you that continued force and really negates the effect that you find on some motion platforms without this type of seatbelt system, where you get on the brakes and you lurch forwards and then nothing happens. By having this constant pressure, it really does, surprisingly so, give the illusion that you're constantly being de-accelerated, despite the fact in reality you're moving at about the same pace as you move in the post office when you've got something important to post and there's a bunch of old people in front of you. Outside of the motion rig, of course, you've got the direct drive wheel there, which you'll have seen in our other videos on the channel. You know what we think about direct drive wheels. Absolutely phenomenal. You can just set it up to whatever you need to, whatever you want from it, however much dampening, and it literally does pick up everything from the game. Interestingly, I think when you combine a direct drive wheel with a motion rig, you can make it a little bit less sensitive in some ways because you're getting so much information from the motion platform. You're not as dependent as you are on the wheel when you're using it on a static rig at home. But of course, with the Asseto Corsa, the force feedback is just sublime. The subtlety of the tyre flex coming through the wheel and the grip levels, absolutely amazing, and really helps capture the nuances of driving into Armco and also driving off-road, which I tend to do a little bit in this video. Apologies for the atrocious driving. let the geek out continue as we talk about the feel of the pedals. Now, these are using Husqvarna pedals. I'm not sure of the exact model number of the Husqvarna pedals they're using, but they felt absolutely spot on, with them coincidentally set up pretty close to how I have my home Proto Simtech pedals set up. The key point with these pedals is, you know, it's those high-end pedals where you can set them up exactly as you want them to. You could have a mushy brake if you really wanted to, if you're going to use this insane simulator to do lorry simulation. I don't know, professional application. But if you're going to drive a more sporty car or race car, the key thing is the pedals can then be set up super tight, taking full advantage of the immediate response of the load cell and the ability to very precisely as the driver modulate it and very quickly get on top of control of the vehicle and hitting those brake points and staying on and just under or balancing on the limit going into the brake points. When you combine that again with the motion rig that's giving you way more information there and the information through the steering wheel, it's just a really nice combination. Now, you might not have noticed, but in front of the sim rig are three 55-inch curved Samsung TVs. Of course, as those of you that subscribe to the channel know, we're a massive fan and proponent of virtual reality, and at the end of the day, nothing places you inside of a vehicle like a VR headset. But that said, VR doesn't have the resolution yet or the clarity of screens, and it certainly doesn't have the wide field of view that you get with a triple screen setup such as the one in this video. And a rather interesting illusion occurred with this triple screen setup, just because of the distance it is from the rig with the size and the field of view set up all correctly, in that it is kind of reminiscent of actually wearing a helmet and the view that you get from a helmet visor. Now, of course, hopefully VR will get there very soon. But until then, especially when it comes to something like a trade show, an event or a public showing where you want something where people can just jump into a sim rig and, you know, other people can watch it all very easily, I can totally see how this is a more optimal solution. And even I, as a total VR fanboy, was a little bit impressed by these ginormous triple screens firing the green hell at my retina. Of course, there's nothing stopping you playing VR with any rig, and of course Vesaro support that as well, and it's phenomenal being on a motion rig with a VR headset. The two times that we've done it now, it really does make me mildly depressed that we don't have a motion rig at home. It's just an amazing combination. All in all, I have to say the end drive of the rig was just absolutely fantastic, as you would probably expect. The only real comparisons I can draw is between this motion rig and the one I used recently, the Simtech Pro motion rigs, with the big difference being the Simtech Pro is one where only the seat moves independent of the wheel and the pedals, whereas the Vesaro rig, the whole rig is moving. I know there's a big divide in the sim community with some people saying the whole rig has to move and other people going, oh, I'm perfectly happy with just the chair moving. So I guess it's nice that you've got multiple solutions there for the different wants of the various type of consumer. Personally, I felt that the D-Box solution was a little bit more subtle in some ways, a little bit more refined, whereas the Simtech Pro solution allowed for something a little bit more jarring and a bit more intense. Of course, you've got massive amounts of settings where you can dial these things up and down on both types of solution, and then there's a lot of different areas of compromise depending on how much you want things to move with the seat mover only and how that affects VR and all the in-between nuances that come together with it. Unfortunately though, no amount of equipment is ever going to stop us from driving into other cars. Your brains are now full of our Vesaro visit experience. Hopefully we didn't break too much stuff whilst we were there and they invite us back again so we can check out some of the other simulators that they make. If you want to know more about Vesaro, check out the website. I've put a link to it in the description. A big thank you to Neville for inviting us along and allowing us to decimate an entire day of their productivity. That is what we're here for. Nothing gets done when we're around. If you enjoyed this video, you know what to do. Click the like button for 5 extra horsepower. If you disliked it, well, what are you doing? You should have left by now. Of course, subscribe to the channel for more content. Let us know what you think in the comments section, what you want to see, any questions. But until the next one, have a good evening, enjoy your tea, goodbye.